You are my wife. I paid your bride price. You belong to me now. Aya stood frozen, his words cutting deeper than any wound. This was the man she was told to obey, the life she was expected to endure. Was this really what marriage meant? For years, she stayed silent, suffering. But one night, everything changed. This is the story of a woman who found her voice, a mother who chose freedom, and a survivor who changed her village forever. Aya was born in the quiet village of Kolom, where women were taught to endure no matter what. Her life followed the path her family chose for her. When she came of age, they arranged for her to marry Boko, a man they thought was suitable. At first, Boko seemed kind. He helped Aya and treated her with care. She felt lucky, but everything changed when she became pregnant. Boko's kindness disappeared. He became cold and controlling. He told Aya she needed his permission for everything, leaving the house, cooking, even what she ate. He stopped caring about her and her unborn child. Aya was often hungry because Boko wouldn't let her eat properly. One day, Aya couldn't take it anymore. She asked Boko why he had changed, why he didn't care about her or the baby. Instead of answering, he got angry. He shouted at her, and before she could say another word, he hit her. He kept hitting her until she fainted, not caring that she was pregnant. When Aya woke up, her body hurt, and her heart felt broken. She decided to go to her mother, hoping for support. But her mother's words crushed her. Aya, marriage is not easy, her mother said. A good wife makes things work. Living is not an option. Aya left her mother's house confused and hurt. On her way home, she felt lost, unsure of what to do. When she returned, Boko was waiting. "Where have you been?" he asked angrily. "I went to see my mother," Aya answered softly, her voice shaking. His hand flew across her face, the slap loud and painful. "Who said you could go there?" he yelled. "You are my wife. I paid your bride price. You belong to me now. Your parents have no say anymore." Before Aya could respond, he dragged her into the bedroom and beat her again. Years passed, and Aya endured the pain in silence. She believed what she had always been told: a good wife stays and keeps the peace. She stayed for her two little boys, who loved her but were beginning to notice her bruises. Sometimes, Aya thought of leaving. But fear and shame stopped her. Where could she go? Her parents wouldn't help. Who would believe her? She felt trapped, surrounded by a world that told her to stay silent. Every day, Aya's heart ached. She told herself she was staying for her children, but deep down, she began to wonder, is this the life I'm meant to live? But one night changed everything. Aya sat at the dinner table with her children when Boko returned home drunk. He stumbled inside, knocking over a chair, and demanded his meal. Aya calmly set his plate before him, but Boko took one look at it and threw it against the wall. "Is this how you treat me?" he roared, grabbing her arm. His grip was tighter than usual, and as the boys began to cry, something inside Aya snapped. For the first time, she pulled back. "No, Boko," she said, her voice trembling but firm. "You will not touch me again." Boko froze, startled by her defiance. But his anger returned quickly. "You dare talk back to me?" He raised his hand, but Aya stepped in front of her children, shielding them with her body. "Enough," she screamed. The sound was so loud, so raw, that even Boko hesitated. In that moment, Aya realized she wasn't afraid anymore. She wasn't protecting herself, she was protecting her sons from learning that this was how men should treat women. That night, Aya gathered her boys and left. She didn't know where she was going, but she refused to look back. The walk to her parents' house felt endless. When she arrived, her father's face darkened as she told him everything. He wanted her to return to Boko, to fix the marriage. But Aya stood her ground. Fix it. By letting him kill me one day. By teaching my sons it's normal to beat a woman. Her voice cracked but didn't waver. No. I'm done. Her words shocked her parents into silence. For the first time in her life, Aya realized she didn't need their approval. She was fighting for herself, for her children, for a life free of fear. Over the next year, Aya rebuilt her life. She found work at a local school, teaching young girls to value their worth. She rented a small house and began to see her boys thrive without the shadow of their father. Word of Aya's courage reached the elders of Kolom, who were moved by her strength and determination. Recognizing her impact, they gave her an official position as an advocate for justice in the community. Aya worked tirelessly to educate men and women on the importance of respect and equality in marriage. Her efforts led to the elders enacting a new law against domestic abuse, ensuring that no woman would have to endure what she had silently suffered. Aya's story was more than just a lesson, it was a call to courage. She taught young girls and boys that true strength is not just in enduring but in speaking up, in saying enough, and in choosing a path of dignity and freedom. Because sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is refuse to let fear or tradition define your future. Thank you for watching. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful folktales from Story Stream with Debby.